guys, it's Ellen. I hope you're having a good day. I'm sorry about the mess up earlier. Boy, I came out and did a little video of this hutch, this wine hutch here, and I posted it, but Facebook wasn't posting. So I tried it again, and I tried it again, and I tried it again, and then it jammed up the feed because it still wasn't posting, but I had 4 videos trying to load, so that really messed it up. Then I thought I had deleted them all, and by that time I'd spent 15 or 20 minutes trying to get them posted. So I thought I had deleted them all, and then I just did one plain post that said we're going to change it to 12:15. And then I checked a little while ago, and my one that said it was going to be on at 12 posted. I couldn't believe it. But that's Facebook. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not so good. So anyway, we'll forget all that hassle. So today we're going to start on this beautiful hutch. This is a wine cabinet, actually. It has these metal grates, and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them on or not, but if I am, I'll paint them out differently. It has a hutch drawer for wine. I don't see any light in there, but you know, like a cabinet light, but I might end up putting one in there, we'll see. It has really kind of old-fashioned boring knobs, so we'll probably change those out, so it needs 4 new knobs for this cabinet. Really nice drawers. It's a fairly modern piece. It's definitely not an antique. I'd say 25 years old maybe. Really nice carving on the door. You can see that there, and along the side it has the same thing. And then on this side it has, sorry for my wobbly tripod, it has glass shelves that are kind of stuck in the back from when I picked it up the other day, and I have to very gingerly go in there and pull them out. So, but what I want to do with you today is I want to start on this piece. So this is going to take a little bit of time to do this one, maybe 3 videos, but I'll try to keep them a little bit shorter. I will show you some of the prep of this today and kind of what I have an idea for it. Usually when I come out and I can stare at a piece for a few days before I decide what I want to do with it. And even that, when I do decide what I want to do with it, I might change my mind 3 or 4 times before I actually get to the final product. And what the piece will look like in the end. So I kind of have a basic idea in my head right now of what I want to do with it. But look at these colors. So I was looking at colors today, and I use fusion paints. But I was looking at colors for this, and I thought I kind of want to keep it earthy. I don't want it to be, I could make it black, which would be kind of trendy. But then I thought that's kind of boring to paint. But black would also be really nice for this whole piece, this whole entire piece. If you do a really dark color or a really good solid mid-range color, like something like Renfrew Blue, this one, it's a really pretty greeny blue color. You don't need to prime the knots that are in the pine. But if you're doing a light color like Cathedral Taupe or linen, limestone, casement, one of those really light white colors, off-white colors, you would need to prime the knots in it. I don't prime the whole piece of pine. If a piece has pine, I just prime the knots, and I've never had trouble. It's actually the knots that bleed the tannin through the paint, so that would be the part that you have to make sure that you take care of. So you can see it's got some pretty big knots happening here. I don't know if you can see that very well. Like, look at that. That is a knot. So once I sand this down, if I decide to paint the top, I will have to prime any knots that I see in here. I'm kind of thinking, though, on this piece that I might just do my faux barnwood stain on it on the top part. That would look pretty cool. I think I'll paint the rest out, and then I'll do some antique and glaze of all of this embellishment here. There's that embellishment, there's the grates. If I decide to keep them, I will probably paint them out black or something and maybe do some gold highlights on them. Right now they're sort of all painted out a brassy color but they have black highlights in the veins of the leaves, so I don't really want to keep that. Somebody tried to do some antiquing on this. I don't believe this is how it was bought, but they tried to do some antiquing and they put this white gunk. Can you see that? It's like this white plastery stuff. I don't even know what it is. And I know that's not the original because I have done a complete coffee table and end table of this exact same set for another person. And I know it didn't have this white junk in here. So the lady that I got it from obviously tried to antique it or glaze it or something. But this is like, I would say it's like drywall putty. It's really a weird, hard texture and it doesn't look very good at all. It's all over the bottom part of this hutch. So I'll pull it back a bit so you can see that's the hutch. It's really pretty. It's a big square piece. I think you saw it in the picture. So for colors, check this out. I had thought of doing Renfrew blue, but because I'm going to resell this, this might not be the best color. If I was to keep it or if it was your own project, it might be a nice color with some white antiquing or black antiquing. So I'm kind of thinking that one's out. Midnight blue would also be super nice. And I think these are all backwards too, I'm sorry. Midnight blue would be really nice. It's a super dark navy blue. But that I think is too, might not be the right color. I'm trying to keep it kind of like, you know, when you go to a winery and you see these dusky greens and antique browns and, you know, the off-whites and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of what the theme I want to keep it. This orangey brown stain that was in 25-30 years ago, it's got to go. It is not pretty at all. So the other color I was thinking that was kind of earthy and more wine country is Bayberry, which is a really pretty, it's a dark sage green, very dark with brown undertones. I thought that might be nice. So that's one's in my wheelhouse. To go a completely different but very modern direction, I thought of going with soapstone, which is like a, not a super dark gray, but a dark gray. It's very, very nice, very modern. We could do that. So that is one of my choices. Something totally off the market or out you would never see is a color called cranberry, which is like a grapey red. It's really a pretty red. And these are all fusion mineral paints. I thought of doing that with maybe some white glaze or something like that, but that would be probably if I did a custom piece and they wanted it that color. I wouldn't probably do that to resell on the market because it might be hard to sell. And then I thought, well, you know, I could go off-white and then just do all of my embellishment in a color. So I'm kind of, and then I thought, you know, this would look really pretty with the barnwood, faux barnwood top I would do. And this is a, it's called Cathedral Taupe, but it's actually, when you see it on, it's like a gray-white. It's a really pretty color though. And I'm kind of thinking that might go. That would be an easy sell. And if I did the detailing right, I could really kind of jazz it up, but still have a nice neutral color that would go into kind of like anybody's house, right? So I think the blue and the Renfrew blue are out. I think the cranberry's out. I think the bayberry is maybe a little bit too green. I could tone this down, but I don't want to. I like that color just like it is. So it's kind of between the gray and the Cathedral Taupe. So that would be my choices there. So I'm going to start prepping this piece. I don't want to be too long with it, but just, you know, a lot of people are new to painting and they're really stuck. I belong to a few paint groups, and honestly, the amount of time that I see people questioning and wondering, how do you do this and how do you do that and how do you prep this and what do you do for stain? I'm self-taught, I mean, years and years ago, I did some restaining of pieces and a little bit of woodwork, but I never worked in it as a profession or anything. And painting, I've always painted homes throughout the years, my own homes and things, so I got pretty good at that. But painting furniture is self-taught for me in the last like year even, so fairly new to it, but I do it a lot now, so it's getting a little bit easier. But a lot of these things I've learned, some things I've learned on the site, some things I've learned from videos, and a lot of it's just trial and error and just really making mistakes and trying to fix them. And it's, when you make mistakes doing this, it's so frustrating because it does take time to do these really well. So the prep work is really important. So you have to clean the piece, because every piece you ever get, even in your own home, is going to have dust on it, in it, dirt. Pieces that you buy off, you know, the buy and sell or whatever like that are going to be dirty. This one in particular, the top is just full of greasy finger marks. I don't know what they did, but and all of these little grooves here on the piece are going to be full of dust. These I'm taking off, so it just needs a good wash down. And what I use is a product called TSP. I think it's trisodium phosphate. You can get TSP from your regular hardware store, and if you use that, wear gloves, and also make sure you wipe it all down after you've used the TSP with water. But I use Fusion's TSP, and I don't know what they've done to it, but it's a TSP that's safe. Once you've wiped down your piece, you don't have to do any extra step of taking it off again. You just wipe it on, take your dirt off, and the rest of the TSP just sits there for painting. After you do your cleaning, you sand. So with Fusion paints, you just have to scuff sand, and the scuff sanding creates a little bit of tooth. It's called tooth, but it's a little tiny bit of microscopic kind of tears in the wood surface or the varnish surface to allow the paint to stick into it. Chalk paint, you don't need to do that. But chalk paint has this huge end step that you have to do of really waxing, like triple waxing everything you do. And then you have to re-wax over the years many, many times. But with Fusion paint, you don't have to do anything as far as finish if you don't want to. I always do a few different things to either bring up a sheen or something like that, but you don't have to. So once Fusion's dry, it's dry. So TSP is cleaning, then the scuff sanding, and I use a 220 sandpaper. If I have any problems with the wood, like there's any gouges or nicks or anything, that's the time to fill them, let them dry, and then finish your sanding on them. When you're scuff sanding your piece, you generally find the little things that are maybe wrong with your piece that you have to fix. If there's anything really loose, or like in this case, we have to get new knobs, so I'll go shopping for those soon. So TSP, cleaning, sanding, and then you put your first base coat on. With this one, it's pretty straightforward. I think it's just dirt. I think they just had it in their garage for quite a long time. Now, the insides of these pieces, I never paint, ever. And most people don't. So if I choose a color that will go with the inside, see, the inside's a little bit darker, right? So if I choose a color that will be okay with the inside, I don't need to change the inside. And in fact, the inside wood would go with any one of these colors. Do you see that? So I don't paint the inside. I will paint the inside of the doors, like here. I'll paint the inside of this door frame and all of the door frame, but I will not paint the inside. There's really no need to. You could, I guess, paint the back wall if you really, really wanted to, and paint it like a brighter color, like white or something, so it really stood out. And I might do that with this, but that would be the only thing I would paint. But I'll probably just leave it like it is. I kind of like it, actually. I like the contrast, like from this to this, or even this dark gray to this inside color. I think it would look pretty neat and just give it a bit of a natural contrast. So I'm going to take these off. Every time I do a project, I take a little bucket, or you could use a baggie, something like that. And I put all of my nuts and bolts and hardware in it because it's super easy to lose your screws. Trust me, I've done it. And you don't want to be doing that. And these little drills are great. If you are a mother and you do painting, ask your family for one of these little things. This is a Makita set, and it comes with the drill and the screwdriver, the power screwdriver like this, and I absolutely love them. I got these for Mother's Day a couple of years ago. So let's take this off. It comes out really fast. I always take, if there's 3 screws on each side like this, I take 2 of them out, leave the top one in, and I'll do the same down here. Oh, this one only has 2. So now I'll take the last one out, and the door is going to sag, so just hold on to it, and then take your top one. And that's one door down. Put all your screws away. Make sure you've got them. So here you can see, I don't know if you can see that very well, but when I paint, I'll just paint along this edge so it's nice and tidy when they do open the door. Okay, so that's that drawer. I shall turn and do this one over here. These come off really fast if you have a proper, even if you have just a little electric screwdriver. It's better than nothing. It goes a lot faster. This side has really tiny screws. That's weird. Usually they're all the same size. Okay. So that's another door off. And then we'll gather my screws wherever they are. There should be one more, but I can't find it. I'll find it after. Put them in the bucket. So that's off. These I will leave in because, like I said, I'm not painting the inside at all. So I'm just going to leave this, but I will wash this out with TSP. I won't wash the inside with TSP. I'll just wash it with soapy water. So the thing with TSP is it will leave a white film, like a white kind of weird film. So I'll just wash this with water, and I can really see a ton of dirt in there. Just gross. Now it has these little magnets when the door closes. So in this case, I don't need to take those off. But if I was painting inside, I would take all that off. If you don't take your hardware off, it looks really junky. It looks just cheap and not well done. So it's really worth it to take all your hardware off. So when I get the drawers cleaned, I will take these knobs off. But I'll show you my cleaning just really quickly. My TSP, so with the Fusion TSP, it comes in a little bottle, and all I do is mix 1 teaspoon of TSP, or 1 capful of TSP with a liter of water, and then I just mix it up in a spray bottle, so I can just spray it here. Let's move this way. And you don't need to give it like an uber clean. You just do need to be pretty careful that you get the most of the junk off. Make sure you get your drawer tops, your drawer sides, because guaranteed this is going to be dirty and have grease on it. And if it does, even with the scuff sanding, the paint won't stick very well to it. I just keep it all mixed up, and I just keep spraying and wiping and spraying and wiping. It doesn't take long. It takes about 10 minutes to clean a whole piece like this. And I'm not going to do the whole piece with you because that would bore you to tears, but you get the idea. It's pretty fast. This is really rough finish in here. A lot of times cabinet makers do leave the inside rough. You don't very often find them where they're not really rough. Now this stuff here is that white. She's again got that white, I don't know what it is, but it's like it feels like old drywall mud or some kind of plaster. I don't know what it is, but it's really rough. So when I get to sanding, I'm just gonna sand it smooth. I don't need to get this all off, this white junk, but I do need to sand it smooth. And that same thing if you find like a nick or a gouge and you're doing your sanding, you really have to sand it smooth to get it all prepped really nicely. So this is going pretty fast. And I'll finish the rest of the prep off camera, but I wanted to show you this here now. So, like I said, with sanding any flat surfaces or even this, the top, I might take my sander to the top just because I want it super smooth for if I do the barnwood finish with stains. But this here, if I was to try and sand these, would take me a long, long time because look at all of the detail, right? So just dry it off or let your prep dry a little bit. And then I take a product called Ultra Grip, which is also a Fusion product, and a little paintbrush. And I did have a little cup here somewhere. Let me find it. Wherever it went. Here we go. Oh, I think we disconnected for a minute, but we're back on. We use this Ultra Grip, and it makes it like a sticky surface so that hi Bev! It makes it a sticky surface so that the paint will actually stick, and it goes on kind of white. I don't need it up here because I can sand this, but it goes on sort of white, and just really make sure you put it on in one direction. If it's got too much, you can take a rag and wipe some off. So we'll just keep going. And then that will have to dry overnight. This stuff has to dry for 12 hours before you can paint over it. But it's super easy. So instead of sanding all of this really intricate stuff, I can just do this. And this Ultra Grip gets into everything. Dab it in and then smooth it out because it will leave a little bit of brush strokes. I could even do it in here. And actually, I think I might because this center bar here has a lot of grooves in it, and I don't think I can probably sand in there very well, so I'm going to use the same stuff in here. And then I don't have to sand these. Anywhere that I use the Ultra Grip, I don't have to sand now. I can just let this dry overnight and paint right over top of it. It's really good for when you're using or when you're doing a metal piece, glass, plastic, laminate, anything like that. So that's done, and that is done. And that's pretty much it other than the sanding. So I will let you guys go, but for the doors, I'm just going to scuff sand them and paint them. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to go with Cathedral Taupe, though I think that will look really pretty for a wine cabinet. It's pretty wine-ish looking, so it'll be kind of neat. So we'll do that, and we'll let these dry, and I'll get it sanded all up today, and then we'll do another live, and we'll start painting it out and show you how to do that. And I will decide further on what I'm going to do with the top, if I'm just going to restain it or paint it or do the barnwood, the faux barnwood on it, but I think I'm leaning more towards the faux barnwood. So it's going to be a really, really pretty piece when it's done. I mean, it's going to be gorgeous. So stay tuned, keep watching, watch for our next videos, and If you have any suggestions on color or what you think the color would be nicest for this one, let me know and I'll take a look at the posts later. If you haven't gone to our YouTube channel, go there and subscribe so that you can catch these anytime as well. And share this with your friends, and if you have any friends who like painting or who are learning to paint or just like watching things transform before their eyes, which is what this is, then share it with them and let them know to watch. So we'll talk to you. I will let you know probably in the next day when we'll do another live and get started on this. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.